Deadman mode is back, and I want to push not just the game mode, but myself to the absolute limit. No clans, no donations, and most importantly for me, no breaks. I want to see just how much money I can make by playing Deadman mode in one single session. Playing Deadman mode to swap and make money in the main game is nothing new. In fact, tons of people, even tons of content creators actually do it. But throughout the day, I decided I wanted to do something different and really see just how long I could manage to maintain a level head while playing RuneScape's most dangerous and risky game mode. TLDR for those of you who have never played Deadman mode, basically the entire game is PvP except for a few cities. If you get attacked and get PK'd, you lose everything on you and 10 valuable items out of your bank. That's basically it. Now, the original plan was my friend and I, the guy who actually makes the thumbnails for these videos, we're going to go and do TOA. So this is our process of trying to do just that. Both of us actually started with 2 accounts, our main accounts that are the ones doing agility, and we both had alt accounts that were killing blue dragons so that we could get some prayer while we still had immunity in the first bracket. This is actually crazy easy to do because you get tons of bonus XP in Deadman mode, but the reason that we were trying to focus on particular skills and leveling our combat in a certain way is because as you get to certain levels, you move into different combat brackets. And that requires you to hop worlds. The benefit to this is that when you hop worlds, you get 1 hour of PvP protection when no one can attack you, which means you can do anything in the game entirely safe. We were trying to time our gameplay around this so we could make as much money as possible during those 1 hour periods. Once prayer was done, I traded all the profit I made while killing dragons on my alt to this account, and the alt never saw the light of day again. Before we started training, we took the little bit of gold that we had and bought some sigils because a lot of people were dumping these really powerful sigils into the Grand Exchange for like 1 to 5k. I'm not sure if they just wanted to make as much money as possible or what, but some of these sigils were really strong. Now you're probably questioning the agility, and that's fair. This is a PvP game mode. But the reason we were doing this is because when you move up combat brackets, certain quests can give you particular items, and one of them was a crystal bow. You need 50 agility to wear it, and we thought it'd be cool to try and go for that early. Welcome to the training ground. Not only did we get 50 agility, we actually got 51, because that pipe behind us, believe it or not, is a great escape, and people probably don't have 51 agility besides us this early in the game.
Careful too.
Dude, I'm right-clicking him. I'm getting ready, like... I'm right-clicking this guy. I'm getting ready to attack him, bro.
Alright, we're killing Tim.
Bye, Tim.
See you, Tim. Sorry, man. Welcome to Deadman mode, Tim. Oh, you procced on him. You procced on him, yeah, he's dead.
He's dead.
See you later, Tim. I'm sorry, Tim. I'm sorry, Tim. We needed the Moss Giants to ourselves. You guys remember how I mentioned agility was really good for shortcuts? Well, oh, there's 2 people coming. They're skull. Go through.
They're scared of us. They're not scared of us.
They're binding. Just go through. There's no way these guys have the agi.
Holy shit, that's a lot.
Alright, well, we're leaving. Luckily, when that team came after us, we were both really close to breaking the bracket and moving up to the next worlds anyway, so we just attacked some random stuff until we did. What was it? It was Tim?
Yeah, Tim,
what'd you have, Tim? Ooh, Tim had done Waterfall Quest. When you hop worlds, you're given a choice of quest lines to pick to be auto-completed. We chose the elf storyline here just because it's what we wanted to do. Why is there a God Wars boss roaming the deep wilderness, you might be wondering? Well, that's the special concept of Deadman mode apocalypse. 3 times a day, there's going to be 2 breaches, one in single way, one in multi-way combat, that open up and just spew out a ton of bosses. You might be thinking, who cares? Well, if you go there and do damage to these bosses, you can get access to a special loot table that gives you very, very powerful weapons. That's why we wanted to rush the first one with PvP protection, because we figured if we get here early enough, we might get lucky and just be able to get a big ticket weapon and transfer it while the Deadman swap rates are really, really high still. Unfortunately, we weren't lucky enough to get any of the unique corrupted weaponry or PvP weapons, but we did get some supply drops, which was pretty nice actually. Alright, so the plan now, since the next breach isn't for a long time, is do some Ability Slayer, get some gold, train up the account a little bit, make it a little less ugly, and hopefully we can pick up some better D'hide and stuff along the way. I totally forgot, doing Ability Slayer actually gives you these tier 1 archaic emblems, which are just worse versions of the ones you can get from the Rift. Another emblem. Number 3, Laren's Key. Alright, Black Demons is actually a really good task because I have a sigil that lets me never hit zeros, so it's not going to be terrible at this level. Though that's probably going to be the only other task I get for the rest of Deadman mode. So you turn on those emblems here at the Grand Exchange, and the reward shop actually offers you some really good stuff. Tons of potions that'll help you just further your progress, but if you look down at the bottom, there's actually Elite Void. I don't know how that works, but I don't know. Maybe I'll end up picking that up later. Ooh, Laren's Key. Little tier 1 emblem. I just get... Oh my god, okay. I'm banking. That's nice. The reason I randomly got a higher tier totem there is because it's part of the Dead Man special drop table, which kind of just occasionally happens, more often when you're killing higher level monsters, but that tier 5 is actually the same one you can get from breaches, so that's actually pretty huge. However, I'm not going to spend these points just yet, since if I get PK'd, I won't lose them, so this is kind of a good safety net. The tier 1 farm continues. The farm grows. I don't even know how many I've had this task, but that's another one. After a while, I eventually got 70 range and was able to buy Black D'hide. I decided to come cash in my Laren's keys, but unfortunately, I got coal. And then once I finally managed to put it in my looting bag and adjust on my looting bag settings, I got more coal. So at this point, the breach was still pretty far away, and we decided there really wasn't any point delaying our eventual goal of going to TOA to get immunity at the breaches. So we decided to go around the game and just do a bunch of the basic quests to give us a bunch of combat XP, to give us a more well-rounded stat line. Oh, lucky me. Second route. Second route. It's a good account. It's a good account. Second route. Second route, dude. Alright, so I've leveled out of the combat bracket for this world, and I'm getting ready to hop here. I'm going to go buy myself a Dragon Scimitar, and then for the quest completion choice, we're going to choose Monkey Madness 2, because we couldn't really think of anything else better to do with our immunity than maybe kill some demonics. They have really good alchable drops, which are going to have a good baseline price, and, you know, we could get a Zenyte, which might be worth something. 1 KC, forgot my combat potions using a starter sword because Dragon Scimitar's not buying for 118k and the shop is sold out on the actual island. What are we getting? Something good, come on. Rune Chain. That's actually really good. Oh my god! Oh my god!
Grab it.
Oh my god! Wait, I need to get out of combat. I need to get out of combat. I need to get out of combat.
Yeah, just run away.
If
Run
I
the other, like
go
run up
here?
the ladder.
Hey, you guys should probably subscribe or something. That'd be pretty cool. That is undoubtedly the first Zenyte in the game. The problem is no one can craft it, so we can't really do anything with it right now. So that Zenyte's going to sit in my safety deposit box that if I get PK'd, it won't get lost. Unfortunately, we just can't really do anything with it. But in the meantime, I came down here to the tutor to claim my free crystal bow since we auto-completed the Elven questline, and we're going to use this at the next breach. We're not going to have immunity, so we're probably going to try the singles one this time, but I don't know if it's going to make a difference. Now, we learned 2 things from the first rift. 1, this is what it looks like when you don't have Entity Hider on, and that is an abysmal experience. So you turn on Entity Hider, and suddenly you can actually see what you're attacking. The nice thing about doing this rift as well, since we didn't have protection, is we are actually allowed to pick up all the loot that other people leave on the ground. You might be thinking, why are they leaving it on the ground? Well, like I just showed you, there's a ton of people, and a lot of them are just not seeing their loot spawn. So because of that, we're able to just run over, pick it up, and throw it in the looting bag, and it was all worth a good chunk of change later. If you take a look at my inventory though, you'll notice this rift we got substantially luckier. Not only is my entire looting bag full of loot and very valuable items, but I have 4 tier 5 emblems in my inventory. Should we have stayed as long as we did? Absolutely not, because again, we don't have protection. Anyone could have attacked us at any time here, but we did get some pretty good loot from this one. Quick little bank tour, holy fuck. And then you go to my deposit box, and my deposit box is like all dragon items. At this point we realized people were really stupid and were panic selling all of the items from rifts at much, much lower than alch price. So I decided to pick up the sigil that when you alch gives you even more gold, and just make a hefty profit training my mage while doing other things in game. So I bought 5,000 Wrath runes and 2,000 nature runes. At this point I had enough tier 1 emblems from Worldly Slayer and tier 5s from the breaches that I decided to make a very risky decision and buy myself full elite void. I have no idea what happens to this if you die, so I'm gonna just try to not die and hopefully we won't have to find out. This may have been a horrendous decision, but I figure it's gonna end up being like less switches, so maybe it'll end up being worth it. I don't know, man. I'm grasping for straws, but it felt like the right play to get the void. It just felt like the right play. Where better to use the elite void than the defender grind? Now, the Warriors Guild is safe, which is great, but that also means there are way more people here and way more competition. And I know it's probably not clear in the video, but at this point, we're about 12 hours or so deep into the league, if not a little bit longer. So fatigue was starting to set in just a little bit. Oh, Rune Defender. Hey, there's my Dragon Defender, big pog. So this is where things started to get a little bit frustrating. At this point, we had been playing Deadman mode for about 15.5 hours, and it was 3:30 in the morning. We wanted to start making progress towards our original goal, which was Tombs of a Masket, but that meant we had to move up to the next combat bracket because that's what gave us the quest that would allow us to actually do that. Training, however, started to slow down a lot at this point, so that got a little frustrating, coupled with the fact that we'd already been playing for a while. And then I got attacked by this absolute juicer of a PKer. Dude, he's hitting everything on me. This is actually really annoying. I might die here. Like, I'm not kidding. I think I'm gonna die. I'm kind of just... I'm kind of just praying that he doesn't have fucking... edgy. The pipe, get to the pipe. There's no way he has edgy, right? Surely. Alright, do we just go for the DDS here? Just to fucking scare him off? Expect. With the pipe. Tell me he doesn't have the edgy. Oh, he doesn't have the edgy.
Yes! Let's go!
Let's go. It was at that point when I kind of started to realize that my ability to play RuneScape effectively had started to slip a little bit, but we were nowhere near done. Finally, at 6 in the morning, we had broken into the next bracket, which means we had PvP protection while the next rift went on. And this one got pretty good.
I got a Zuriel stat from Rex.
Dude, what the fuck? I mean, get out. Go put it in your safe deposit box. Come back. There's a bank like right next to you.
I mean, I'm not gonna leave right yet.
Oh yeah, true. You have protection. You have protection. We're fine.
Yup. Holy shit.
Dude, you're getting spooned. As you can tell by my inventory, though, just because I wasn't the one that got those big rare drops does not mean I did not also clean up on making absolute bank from this rift. Alright, rift is done. I have enough to buy my last 2 pieces of void, and honestly, I've already committed to void, so fuck it. We're buying it. Let's go. Why not, right? And now it was finally time. 6:30 in the morning, after 18 straight hours of being on our toes, worried about getting attacked by tons of other players, it was finally time to go to the Tombs of a Masket. Our moods were then quickly squashed when we realized that you, for some reason, cannot do Tombs of a Masket while you were under the effects of PvP protection. My friend decided it would be a good time for him to just go and stretch and take a little bit of a break, and I decided I might as well use the immunity to go and get 70 prayers since it was a little too risky to do in the other bracket. Yay, 70 prayer. And then it was finally time to go into the Tombs of a Masket, and let me tell you, it was difficult. Since we weren't lucky enough to get any of the crazy equipment from breaches like corrupted T-bows or scythes or any of that stuff, and of course we didn't take donations from other people to get them, we were struggling. This was much more difficult than we expected because the sigils were a bit weaker than we thought, and our DPS was just low. In fact, in the top right of my inventory, you'll see I have an item that actually allows me to summon a thrall. We combined this with something that gives our thralls 3 times damage, which means they can hit up to 9s, and even with that, our DPS was very, very bad. In fact, a lot of times our thralls were actually doing more damage than us, which is a little bit embarrassing.
Yeah. We forgot pickaxes. This will be fun with our 1 mining. Oh my god!
I did not think about that. 7.
Oh, 7's not bad.
Actually, not
We actually
bad.
hit 8s.
And then we realized that even with the assistance of triple damage thralls and other powerful sigils, we actually didn't have the DPS to outdamage the DPS check on Akka, which meant that we were going to be taking a lot of extra damage here. Oh, I can maybe run through it. Oh, that's gonna kind of suck. And this is where the exhaustion really started to catch up to me. At this point, I'd already consumed all of my fish because we were just taking a lot of excess damage thanks to missing the DPS checks, and I was really too scared to just drink my brews because if we finished the raid and run into PKers, we wanted to have some chance of escaping. Because of that, I lost track of the memory's attack order and then died, leaving my duo partner to finish this entire room himself with our absolutely garbage gear. Luckily, in a feat that took no less than 10 minutes, he was able to throw me on his back and carry me through the rest of the room so that we could try to finish out the raid. Honestly, Kefri was fine. This was actually like the easiest part. The Karis did a lot of damage. We didn't really take a lot of damage. This part was great. I liked Kefri. Finally, we made our way to the last boss, the Warden. We managed to get through the obelisk phase thanks to a large assistance of ruby bolt damage, but we realized our DPS was still really low, and this is where it started to shine the most. My fucking... Oh, you...
Oh, God. Look at the damage.
Oh, I don't want to. I really don't want to. Yeah, so, you know, not amazing. And of course, this boss does a lot of chip damage. Damage you just can't avoid, even if you're doing everything correctly. That type of mechanic with limited food and low DPS doesn't really lead to a positive situation. So you can probably guess how I ended up here. Just kidding, I totally could have avoided my death here. But regardless, we were definitely going to run out of raid supplies throughout this fight, and would have had to dip into our personal brews, which is way too big of a risk, because dying in this raid, we lose the raid. Dying outside of the raid, we lose our entire banks. At this point, both of us kind of wanted to just give up and go to bed, but we realized that if we did that, there was really just no chance of making any money because the swap rates were going to be terrible. So I decided to be really stupid and go to Revenants. All I know is I'm being a massive, massive idiot here, and I need to be careful and just take off my bracelet so no one suspects what I'm doing, like this guy who's probably a PKer. He has a crystal shield. He's going to Zulrah, actually. That was a Zulrah teleport. I don't know what I'm doing, but that's a full looting bag of like 600k. So, I don't know, man. At this point, the sun had already come up on the next day, and Simo decided he wanted to just start selling off some of his gear, liquidating, and just trying to transfer whatever money he could to the main game before the swap rates from Deadman mode became pretty bad. And I don't blame him. I was getting pretty tired too. I just got 2 dragon plate legs, so yeah, 2.5 mil. Fuck it. Give me it. There we go. Bam.
How much?
1650. At this point, my carelessness really started to get the better of me, and I bought that Tunic and Shadow to go do Zulrah to try and make money, but I had no escape route, so if I got caught by a PKer, I would just die.
How's the Shadow going? Good?
It's...
Just
dude.
Thralls.
No, I had 6 melee thralls in a row. That's just the Shadow.
Nice.
Like, 231? That's good. Like, that's fine. Wait, what the fuck?
Hey,
Did-
what? From the little thing?
From the Snakeling. I shot the Snakeling and it gave me a tier 1 and a rune med helm. What? Okay. You're probably thinking this seems great. You're getting decent kills, the loot looks good, what's the problem? Well, the problem is, just like Tombs of a Masket, this is an instanced boss. And instanced bosses in Deadman mode don't give you experience. Not even normal rates, they give you none. Which means the only way to speed up your kills is to actually stop doing the boss and go train, where you're going to risk the Deadman mode swap rates going down, or get new gear, which means you're just increasing your risk. And you know the one time I don't hover over that teleport, someone's going to be out here. Oh yeah, 149 new PB and 10 KC. That's pretty pog. Ooh, hello. I did not know Zork dropped tier 5. Alright, just shy of 20 kills, but I need to get some staminas, so I'm going to sell off the loot and see if we get anything good. Now here's the heavy hitter. You're laughing, but flax. This is going to sell for 250 each. 750k from 3 drops of flax. So as of right now, I'm actually all the way up to 38 Zulrah KC, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's like 12 kills an hour. It's really, really slow to get back there. And I was thinking what I might do is actually try and liquidate a large part of my bank and start preparing for the next rift that's in 2 hours. At this point, I've been playing for over 24 hours straight, and I think I want to try and see if I can find some decent swap rates, because I think some of the sigils I've bought have spiked a lot. Like the Sigil of Precision, I bought for 1.2 mil. I'm pretty sure it's selling for like 3 mil now. So some good investments, but I want to see what I can do here. Okay, even the Tunic and Shadow that I bought for 1.6 has gone up to 2.2. So even though the rates might have been going down, the coins have not been. I actually think I'm going to have over a green cash stack here. Let me figure this out. Okay. Wow, I bought this for, I think, 1.2 million and just sold it for like 4.2 million. Yeah, that's a pretty good investment. I'm still keeping a couple things because there's still like an hour and a half, 2 hours until the rift, but I'm I'm getting too tired of making too many mistakes to be running around risking as much gold as I am, so I think it's time to start pulling out. And alright, so that is 4 mil offloaded on Deadman for 80 mil main game. Very nice, 2i, 2i. Alright, so this guy transferred a little bit more gold than the other one, so I give him a little bit of a better rate, but well over 200 mil, and I still have that last rift to go to. I left myself just enough gear to do that, so let's go see if we make any more money. I'm sure a lot of you guys are wondering why I sold off my gear before going to a rift, where doing more damage is effectively just going to get me more loot or a better chance at loot. And the reason is pretty simple, it's because I just didn't have PvP protection, I was already playing really poorly, and I'd gotten attacked about 5 or 6 times already in this bracket when I was doing other things, even just walking around outside of safe zones, so I knew that I was no longer ahead of the curve and people were catching up. So I decided to just go in some pretty budget gear, some ruby bolts, and just see if I could maybe snag some loot that people left on the ground, or, you know, maybe get a couple lucky bolts and get some big loot for myself. Alright, went to the rift, cleaned out the bank, now I'm just waiting for this shadow that I failed at flipping to sell, and then we'll have our total. So after sniffing through every corner of my bank, unattuning and selling all my sigils, I ended up with well over 4 mil again that I'm going to transfer over. And I think this is where I'm going to call it because it's been like 30 or 31 hours, and I'm going to be honest, man, I'm just tired. And after a grueling 31-hour consecutive session of Deadman mode, I made well over 300 million gold in the main game. You know, no breaks, nothing but Deadman mode. And honestly, it was kind of fun. Exhausting, but fun. And in case anyone was wondering, I did actually leave that Zenite shard in my deposit box on Deadman. My friend should be waking up soon and he can decide what he wants to do with it. I didn't want to sell it since we got that as a team. I didn't really know what he wanted to do with it. Since we got it so early, no one could actually make it. And I'm still pretty sure no one in our bracket can actually make it. But this is the first time I've ever done a challenge like this. So if you guys enjoyed it, please make sure you guys leave a like and let me know. I would love to do more stuff like this in the main game. But obviously, for now, I'm gonna go get some sleep. Leave a like, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.